Following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
Different stories from many walks of life. We did our best to make a way, it didn't turn out right. Lore of the adventures and talks of all the go will make a man think twice about his life at home. We head for open waters, the kings of the sea. Yo ho ho, here we go, a pirate's life for me. Wherever there is treasure, that's where we will be. Yo ho ho, here we go, a pirate's life for me, a pirate's life for me. Now we are the hunted with bounties on our head. The Royal Navy wants us, our certainty is death. If it's not in battle, the gallows it will be. Until my dying day, a pirate's life.
Oh, wow. Even more music there. Woo! Welcome, one and all. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. Depends on where you are in this world or when you may be watching this. We threw Mike overboard into the dinghy and have had our mutiny. So, here we go. Arrrrr. Cash was the one that did the dirty work. I was innocent in all this. So... so I hope people don't come out and think that this was all my instigation. It was Cash. It was Cash. So, by the way, Cash, how are you doing today, mi compadre?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing pretty good. Saw Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday. Enjoyed it a lot. Had a few complaints about it, but overall enjoyable film.
You had a few complaints about you going to see the film? Come on, don't people want you to have entertainment?
It was nice to watch actually a Marvel Disney film that I actually enjoyed. It's been a while.
Marvel's back, baby. Disney Marvel is back.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say that, but
no, I'm not gonna say that with a straight face.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Not so much the trailers, as I understand. We're talking about this behind the scenes, and I'm listening to Captain Mike as he's being lowered into the dinghy, and Cash as he's performing his end of the mutiny, and they're talking about the trailers and what they thought about this and that. I'm just kind of sitting in between, going, "Okay, I'm bored now." No, I'm kidding. Well, we do have a lot of articles planned up. In fact, Cash and I kind of went a little overboard because. Well, we're kind of scared. We're new at this. We've never hosted shows before. So,
right.
Please be gentle with us out there. But, notice the evil laugh, folks. Yes. Only that our good friend Cash Monet could do. Or should I say, the Bloom Coin. And I want to welcome... Yeah, I was going to get there. In fact, the next thing I was going to do. Swimming in from the Pacific after sinking a couple rich yachts in a fit of rage is our little buddy himself, Lord Crit of Everest Production. And of course, we have, FKHC 2005. And as always, the very lovely and gracious Leia Rose, the president and sole member of the Phil McCracken fan club. So at least he has one friend out in this cold, harsh world. And lo and behold, we start talking about pirates, and he's the best pirate that we know. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. DJ Ronnie G. Welcome.
Yes, welcome everybody.
So, what was that? I'm a hop channel hop. Oh, he's a hop. Wait a moment. How can you do that? You're a turtle guy. How can you hop? Turtles don't hop.
It's a good question.
Gave mercy on us. Exactly. Before, of course, coming in here on the lower bar on my computer, I don't know what to call it other than that. It always pops up stuff. Right now, it says Atlanta versus Milwaukee game score. I'm not going to click on it because I don't care. But earlier it says about Americans in the swimming for the Olympics. In something, or no, not necessarily. I think they were coming in with the scores are such on that. And I'm thinking, as pirates, arrrrr, the best thing to make that even more interesting, because swimming is rather boring and it's just the women's, arrrrr. But the best way to do it is fill the pool with sharks and then cut the heel of every swimmer before they jump in and see how fast they swim or if they become chum. Arrrrr. Am I the only one that's had that thought or desire? I just want to
know. Maybe.
Or should I seek help?
You're a pirate, so you're beyond
help.
Arrrrr.
Beyond help. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Matey. Arrrrr. Arrrr. Well, we better get used to this if we're going to do what we're going to do on Tuesday, man. That we can actually have a conversation with each other, even though we're not technically still not talking with each other. I think we're doing pretty good, and Mike's not here to intercede, so
That's right.
I kind of feel a little defenseless against the mighty DoubloonMoney.
I like that.
Hey, folks, that was our monologue. What do you think of it? Is it like Tyrus taking over for Gutfeld? Do you think it's to that level quality? I don't know, but I think I will start. I will be merciful to my mutineer mate here. And I'll start off.
Okay.
I'm going to start off and be nice for once. It's very high. And of course, we've been kind of talking about this, and I have not read the article, just like everything else. Even if it's going to be a show I'm going to be on, I still like to be, have everything natural when we're talking about this. And, we've been talking about or hearing about Dr. Doom being played by Robert Downey Jr. And I also heard that they're throwing another name out. Viggo Mortensen was a rumor of him possibly playing Dr. Doom as well. I don't know. I don't know what to think. But this is from the Den of Geeks. Byline by Joe George. Never trust a man with two first names. That's all I got to say. Okay. And Dr. Doom deserves better than Robert Downey Jr.'s stunt casting. MCU fans are excited about Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom, but fans of Doom have some concerns. So hopefully this is not going to be a twat waffle ish story. I like to see that. There is only one Doom. That statement remains true, despite the fact that Victor Von Doom often employs Doombots. You know what? Is Doomcock a Doombot? I have to think about this now. As is decoys. And it remains true despite the fact that several actors have portrayed him on screen. The number of Doom actors increased by one this weekend when a masked figure dressed in green revealed himself as Robert Downey Jr., returning to the MCU after playing Iron Man for several years. Well, you mean a decade or more, I would say. RDJ's casting might, at least. Casting might make for a rich story about the fundamental similarities between men who use their genius to protect the world. Whoa. Would you ever say that Dr. Doom is a protector of the world?
I mean, maybe in his mind.
That doesn't count. Obviously his nation and him, but the rest of it, he's giving that big middle finger up. Middle finger. That'd be a great name for a band. Anybody who has a band out there, you can use it. So, one a hero, the other a villain, or it might be a desperate grasp at relevance. More crass and cloying than anything in Deadpool and Wolverine. Either way, the casting's becoming unbecoming of Doctor Doom, the greatest villain in the history of fiction. I don't know if I go that far, but he's a good one. And you know what? I think we've officially gone to this territory, so I'm going to hit this.
Everything sucks.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
The unofficial theme song. There we go. There we go. I had to sit back, though. The unofficial theme song to Pop Talk. The Dawn of Doom. I was a god, Valeria, Dr. Doom tells the daughter of his mortal enemy, a girl who helped save from a stillborn birth. I found it beneath me. This simple line from 2012's Fantastic Four, number 611, and dial that too and see what you might get. You never know. I know 411 is information, 911 is help. I can't remember what pizza is. Whenever I need a pizza, I dial 911 because it is an emergency. Written by Jonathan Hickman and illustrated by Ryan Steegman. Captures everything wonderful about Dr. Doom. He's a character with a ridiculous name who wears a green tunic over his metal armor. In other words, he looks like a dark angel. And yet, his emotional truth and grounding comes not in making him like a normal guy, a mistake made by every theatrical Fantastic Four adaptation. Rather, it comes from high drama and operatic states on a level of myths and legends. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Jack Kirby and Stan Lee first introduced Dr. Doom in 1962's Fantastic Four, number 5, as a wonderful but generic villain. Doom arrived at the Baxter building to kidnap Sue Storm, and who can blame him, and force the FF men to go back in time and steal the treasure of the pirate Blackbeard. Arrrrr, see, it's getting into our territory there, Cash. He's trying to muzzle into our territory. Arrrrr.
Oh, good. In case they weren't going to cover some of this, I looked up another article just in case to see this whole crazy thing about what you're talking about, that they switch bodies, and it just seems like this whole thing is literally this is cheap nostalgia. I don't know what else to call it, but continue.
Well, the only best nostalgia is cheap nostalgia.
Right. Well, I mean, I say that because, Robert Downey Jr. was a really good Tony Stark. And so we've now got him playing Dr. Doom. This is, I don't know. Anyways, I'll let you continue.
Very kind of you, Cash. Thank you.
Yes.
Or should I say, Doubloon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yet, even within that lovable, goofy Silver Age tale, Kirby and Lee included hints of the rich character he would become. Reed recalls studying alongside Victor Von Doom at Empire State University, where the Latverian student combines science and magic to reach the netherworld. Fantastic Four number 5 doesn't expound on the reason for Doom's netherworld obsession, letting readers just associate the new baddie with the signifiers of Satan and hell. But in Doom's first full origin story, in Fantastic Four Annual number 2, again from 1962, we learn that he seeks the underworld not for power or to commune with like-minded monsters. Rather, he's searching for the soul of his beloved mother, murdered by the aristocratic rulers of Latveria, when he was just a boy. And I'm just going to see. So let's kind of get out of the history. Let's just get down to the nitty-gritty. Okay. When Joe and Anthony Russo stood on stage at Hall H and introduced Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom, not to be confused with Victor Van Doomcock, the audience erupted with applause, even outside of the overheated confines of Comic-Con. It's easy to understand the response. Deadpool and Wolverine's success notwithstanding, the MCU has been struggling since Downey along with the Russos and Chris Evans, left the franchise with Avengers Endgame. The homecoming of 3/4 of that foursome might feel to someone like a righting of the ship, a sign that the MCU is ready to return to its former glory. No, Deadpool and Wolverine. That's the bringing back. It's the return of Disney Marvel. That's it. The excitement makes sense. Any of us who love superhero movies long to see the MCU get back to producing the interesting and daring films it made during its first 3 phases. Furthermore, Tony Stark and Doctor Doom have a long relationship in comics. Given their equal arrogance and technological skills, comic book creators have told compelling stories based on the relationship between the two characters, and there's no reason that the films could do the same. Avengers Doomsday might end up being a big sloppy mess. Oh, you task me. You task me, don't you? You truly.
Big sloppy mess? No way.
What the hell you say?
Everything of Marvel Disney has been so great. It's not been overly goofy and not make much sense, and yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. Lately.
Avengers Doomsday might end up being a big sloppy mess. However, Avengers Doomsday could also be a towering success or a towering inferno. It could be rich, emotional hero movie anchored by Robert Downey Jr. at his best. But even if it was, Avengers Doomsday would be about Tony Stark in some way. How Doom represents the choice Tony could have made, and how he's a much better hero because he didn't. Oh, it's a Wonderful Life superhero story. It should be called Avengers: A Wonderful Life. Simple. There we go. They should hire me on. I got my finger on the pulse, man.
You did it, man. You did it.
I did it. And you know what? It probably cost $3 million to 10 or 15 million to sit down and come up with the name Avengers Doomsday. You know, their focus groups. And why can't we call it? I gave it to you for free, but no. Or it would be about Downey as an actor, how he can return to the franchise that features his iconic character and plays someone totally different, showing off his range as a performer. Whatever Avengers Doomsday ends up being, placing Downey Jr. in the role of Dr. Doom means that it isn't fundamentally about Doom. I don't know. I'm hearing Doom all over the place here. Cliche as it might sound, most Fantastic Four fans say that there has only been one good movie version of Dr. Doom, and that's the cheapo Roger Corman production from 1994. The movie had a flat, yeah. A lot of people sit back and say that's really good. I'm going to have to actually sit down and watch it. The movie had flat acting, poor effects, and a haphazard plot, but it also had Doom being Doom, a larger-than-life villain with more gravitas than the whiny edgelords played by Julian Mahan. I hope I said that. Yeah. And Toby Kebbell. Avengers Doomsday will have much better effects, plotting, and acting than any of the Doom stories we've seen on screen before. Yeah, we'll see. But anyone watching the movie will see just Downey or Tony Stark. That's fine for a standard multi-universe story, but not for Dr. Doom, especially if this ends up being the only time we see Doom in the MCU. The character of Doom potential and moral standings should span phases, not two-parters. Doom deserves better. Doom is second to no man, not even to Tony Stark, not even Robert Downey Jr. And of course, Joe George. I keep on wanting to say George because I see it first with my dyslexia, and it's the first name, and it's the first one I gravitate. Joe George's writing has appeared in Slate, Polygon, and Tor.com, okay, and elsewhere. So, thoughts about that El Cacho?
It's they're paying all these people money, including the Russo brothers, because they're like they made a mistake anyways. So the thing is that I would have never gotten rid of the Russo brothers. I like their direction in a lot of things, and I understand there are some problems with Endgame, but overall, it's still a very enjoyable film, I would say. But I would not, for me personally, I'm not going to bring on Robert Downey Jr., bring him back to play Doctor Doom. And this doesn't excite me. It just doesn't. I don't really understand why I'm supposed to be excited about this. I mean, how do you feel about this, Baron?
Well, I think it's just as he's sitting back saying it's trying to get people to come back because they're desperate.
Yes, right.
They really are.
And they didn't need to ever be desperate. That's the funny thing about all this stuff, and that's why it's always funny. It's always funny, and you keep saying it over and over because the people that want to just continue to support this and not criticize this or say, look, you could do a better job. Look at what's happened with Marvel, Disney, or Disney Marvel or whatever. No, Disney Marvel's fine, I guess. It's just. It's just an absolute, it's been a mess. And so when you're losing money, and you are, and even if there's people out there trying to defend this, oh, that's not true, they're lying about this, but they are lost a lot of money, and now they're finally starting to make money, more so I think because of Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool and Wolverine. They wanted to see Hugh Jackman back. He's still the best Wolverine on screen, if there's anyone else out there who's just as good. There might be someone, I don't know. But it doesn't matter because just they keep losing money. Now they're finally making money. So are they finally going to get it again? And I also feel like after Endgame, they should have just taken a break for a few years.
Well, that's
from a lot of this stuff. Yes.
Including to our poor captain who's sitting in the dinghy right now, cursing our names. But no, I mean, you're absolutely right. Everything they need to do is to give breaks, and they don't know how to give breaks. Right. They're so and there's nothing wrong with being greedy and trying to make as much as you can, but there is a such thing as milking a cow dry. And when you got so many irons in the fire, and you don't have the talent to keep it going, because let's face it, they're having to scrounge. They have to scrounge for quote unquote talent, whether it's writing or whatever. And they're bringing in these, and I'm not going to hesitate to say this, wackos, crazy cat ladies who never married, that type. And yeah, I'm not sorry for saying that either. Yeah, but because we all know it's true. But honestly, you look at that, and it's just all they have now. I mean, who would you like to see? Who would you like to have seen play Dr. Doom, Cash?
That's a tough one.
Can I throw a name out? I'm going to throw a name out.
Go ahead.
Mel Gibson.
Okay, that might be able to work. That might work.
Well, I mean, Mel Gibson can be over the top, and Dr. Doom is over the top. What would have been perfect about it, though, is Mel Gibson going up against Robert Downey Jr. as Doom and Iron Man. Putting those two back together, I think their only collaboration together as actors was Air America, but you saw him, of course, in the Lethal Weapon films, and he can, he's got a range.
Well, what's also right, he does, and what's also interesting is I'd have to start thinking about that. They could have started having Dr. Doom come back in She-Hulk, like they did in the Incredible Hulk animated series, where Dr. Doom is trying to help She-Hulk with her issue, and then she turns into She-Hulk. That was really cool, a lot cooler than what they did in She-Hulk. So
everything was cooler, including the torches.
But Yeah, right. It's just that's a tough one. I'd have to think about that for a while. Mel Gibson might be good. I mean, if they're going with an older Doctor Doom, that would probably be fine.
But how would you know he's old though? He's got a mask on. You could put
True,
anybody on there.
true.
You could
That
put
is true.
J.K. Simmons in there as Doom, and you wouldn't know, right? Except by
Yeah,
the voice.
yeah,
And really, it's working with body language in a role like that because, of course, you're masked. You no one will be seeing your face, so
right. Good point.
you,
I mean, if you're going to do it that way and not have him show the face, then yes, I think that could work.
they can't do it because again,
Mhm.
that's I don't think they ever showed Doom's face. We just know it looks horrifying.
Well, no, we know with the Fantastic Four, of course,
Yeah.
we had his face there, but yeah.
Well, I mean, but before the accident, but
Mhm.
even then,
Right.
that was a big, huge creative thing that they did. The pre-accident
Sure.
one, which of course was never in Fantastic Four, because again, he just showed up out of nowhere, caused problems, and went away, and kept on coming back, like
Right.
yesterday's burrito.
That's true.
I might have to. I'll be right back. I have to, take care of that. No, I'm kidding. Okay. But I mean, if you want a voice, and I think you could do it, J.K. Simmons. Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that voice doing Doom?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're just gonna just have the voice.
How about Arnold? Yeah, I miss
Yeah,
you.
I don't know
I'm
about
Doom. Doom. Yeah. Gonna pump you up.
no.
See, we're having fun.
Yep.
There are no co-hosts. We are the hosts, and you are the troll.
I see.
I'm kind of.
So yeah.
I'm falling down. I'm falling down, and I know Mike's got the soundboard on that little dinghy, but I'm going to do this
From
anyways.
Kraken, worst troll ever.
Yeah, there we go.
Well,
This is
according to Screen Rant, in November of 2023, one of the people that they picked out of the 10 was Michael Fassbender. Well, I mean, he made a very good Magneto. I mean, yeah, I don't. They also mentioned John Hamm. Maybe Cillian Murphy, maybe a good. These aren't some bad choices, actually. Andrew Lincoln, it's not a bad choice.
I know. Just for Phil McCracken, Patrick Stewart.
You could even get a no-name
sorry.
person, and if they're willing to put in the work, they could work too. Yeah.
Well, that's what they used to do. It didn't have to be always these
It doesn't have to
extravaganza.
be these A-listers or these people you're going to spend all this money on. If the person is willing to put in the work and they sound good, they could work and they could be a no-name. And I don't think a no-name would be terrible either, as long as they're going to put in the work. And, you tell them, okay, this is who Dr. Doom is. Follow this pattern. So, yeah.
Well, again, honestly, whoever heard the name of Mark Hamill, fuck you, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford. They weren't anywhere near. I mean, they've seen
exactly.
They've seen Hamill in some guest starring appearances and such like that, and Carrie was kind of known for being, the daughter, and Harrison Ford known for smoking dope and doing carpentry work. It's.
I think he was on some soap operas and stuff before.
I think he was. He did little things. Yeah, he did little things, but nothing major. But at the time, he was working as a carpenter too. So, because he wasn't, he wasn't a successful star.
You got it.
He was, he was getting work, but obviously wasn't paying the bills.
A lot of alcohol in the ship, so don't.
Arrrrr, the rum be good, matey. So, okay. Without further ado, I don't know if there's anything else we need to talk about this subject. Bye Doom. And Cash, I'll let you do the next story. See, I warmed up the crowd for you. See, look how pleasant and pleased they are. Especially Spock. He came in and found this really logical. So,
all right. Well, let's talk about the. Let me put this up there.
Okay, we're gonna go all political now. Let's talk all politics all the time now. That's all we are. And Disney Star Wars. There we go.
All right.
We're evil. Oh yeah, you did. You got that's right. You want to pick this one out.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Wait a moment. Let me put my blood pressure cuff on. We got it on. We got it on here. Let's have some fun.
So WCCF Tech, which I've known for at least a few years now, they're nice enough to allow comment sections. Sometimes they do erase comments and so on, which is unfortunate. They do have their nonsense going on, but I saw this article recently. I thought, oh, let's add this to the list. So we've got,
because they erase your articles doesn't mean they erase everybody's article, and I can understand why yours gets targeted.
Oh man, sure. Yeah, no, they erase some people, but it is funny because there is some guy on here who likes to use certain words all the time, and articles do start fanboy wars, which is really funny to me because there's no way that you don't have the greatness like Sega and Nintendo and so on. But anyways, let's get into this. Wizards of the Coast goes all in on video games, wants to ship 1 to 2 games per year starting late 2025 / early 2026. Oh boy.
I'm excited. How about you guys?
Are you excited, man? Weasels of the Coast, man, they're at it again. Look, they never used to be this. But things unfortunately have changed under Hasbro. But which Hasbro is still losing money, actually, but that's a whole nother thing.
What did you say?
I know, man. Come on,
did you
man.
say? Are you saying they're still losing money?
The hell you say?
Yes. Cash and I decided we're going to turn this to a very heavy clip show. Less work for us.
Definitely. Wizards of the Coast is once again pushing itself toward video games. Ooh. President and CEO Chris Cox, it has to be Cox, doesn't it? Openly said,
the hell you say?
I don't think I did that one.
No, you didn't.
Oh, it's even spelled Cox too. It's not COX. It's not KOCH. It's Cox.
Right. That's right. Oh man, I know it's great, isn't it?
So needless to say,
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
If you send any pictures of them to women, that could be considered a dick pic. That's all I gotta say.
Openly said as much during the Q&A portion of Hasbro's quarter 2 2024 earnings call. Transcript available on fool.com. Really? Fool.com? Okay. And all right. Revealing that the studio has hired veteran executive John Haidt with a goal to ship 1 or 2 games per year starting in late 2025 or early 2026 at the latest, thanks to a yearly investment of around $125 million. Ooh.
First of all, I do gotta say this. I remember you and Mike were talking about all the dick jokes that was in Deadpool, and look how many we did just in the opening of this story.
I know, man.
But it was deserving. It was deserving, though.
It was.
Oh,
so,
yeah, good job.
Right. John, I think, is a luminary hire. He's a major hand. I guess they're going to just start this like this. I thought they would say like 1 or 2 sentences, and then they would get into the italic words, but whatever. John, I think, is a luminary hire. Yes. He's a major hand in a bunch of franchises. Warcraft, Hearthstone. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. God of War, and even going way back to Command and Conquer. Now, Command and Conquer, because of EA, and has destroyed that franchise. The only thing that's been really good about it, I won't say completely, is they did remaster some of the Command and Conquer original games, so that was nice. But anyways, I wish we would get that greatness again, but what EA did to Westworld aggravates me still. Yeah. He's worked on some great stuff, which I think is perfectly on point with what Wizards of the Coast is all about and what our digital gaming strategy is all about, which is extending a bunch of great mid-core and hardcore brands and expertise in designing for those kinds of audiences and helping us digitize what those brands can do. Digitize, right? I think between our board moves and with our talent that we brought on board, most recently with John, but even before that, studio leaders we have like Ames Kirshen, who was in charge of Batman Arkham City series, James Olin, who was the head of creative design at BioWare, responsible for the first Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, Mass Effect. Oh, well, they got some heavy hitters, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
So how many zoologists do they have so they can fill it up with bears and other animals this time? Just asking for a friend. Just asking for a friend.
Well, since BioWare was the one who started Baldur's Gate and then Larian Studios took it over, I'll have to look and see if Larian Studios are the one who actually worked if they actually worked on Baldur's Gate 2. I'm not sure. I thought it was still BioWare. And then I think because they did work on Divinity Original Sin, Larian Studios did. So, yeah, I think this was the first time they worked on Baldur's Gate. I'll have to check that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
I mean, those early Baldur's Gates were good, and so was.
Oh yeah.
Can't remember what that was.
They were, man. They were. And look, however you feel about Beargate 3, whatever you want to call it, I can't sit there and say it doesn't have a lot of good content, because it does. But that's beside the point.
No, but it's like, yeah, I mean, as we were saying before, if you're upset about the implemented CP with that Suicide Squad with the underage Poison Ivy and the older Harley Quinn, if you're upset about that and you're repulsed by that and you don't want to have that game, I have to double down and say then you shouldn't have Beargate 3, because it's telling you that way, except with animals. I know the guy turns into one, but still, it's still an animal.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, here. Oh, never mind. I'm not. Oh, there we go.
That game broke Baron for sure. Yeah. But we're going all in on becoming a digital play company. Roughly, our capital envelope is about $250 million a year. About half of that is going into digital games. Our goal is to be shipping 1 to 2 new games per year, starting as early as late 2025, potentially early 2026. And I think we have a balanced approach to that. When you look at our game, when you look at our portfolio of investments in games, whether they're partnerships or JVs that we're doing are just fully internal investments. Okay.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
This sounds like a lot of lawyer talk, doesn't it, Baron? It's starting.
Oh, yeah, it does.
But I think we said we're gonna. Well, I mean, I'll keep reading, I guess, unless this is putting you to sleep.
No. But I do want to say one thing here. Spock, you're part of the problem. 15 minutes. Shame on you. Shame. Okay, back to you.
All right. Let's see. And then you look at our whole lineup of licensed games. We have 150 projects that are either active in the market or in development. I think it's important for us to have a hand as a publisher to guide our franchises and to work on areas and the audiences that we think are hyper important. Hyper important? Okay. Whatever. But I also think it's important for us to work with the best partners in the business and extend those franchises in areas where either we don't have the expertise or we don't have the platform. And I think we've been doing a good job of it. It's no accident why. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, boy. I know. It's no accident why I think we're the #1 licensor in the space. Oh, okay. I think we're going to be a top publisher eventually in the space, and we're going to take our time and do it right.
I had a hard time swallowing that. Sorry about that.
I know. It's not the first time we heard Cox talking about a push toward video game industry, particularly for the Dungeons and the Dragons franchise. However, last year, Weasels of the Coast canceled 5 games, including 2 D&D projects in development at Hidden Path Entertainment and Other Side Entertainment. Well, that sounds wonderful. Doesn't it, Baron?
The Dungeons and the Dragons?
Yeah.
I'm glad your father did not hear you say that. It says the Dungeons and Dragons, not the Dungeons and Dragons.
No, particularly for the Dungeons.
Give me his number. I'm going to call your dad up. And we'll be in the middle of the stream here, and all of a sudden you'll be, all of a sudden, before we know it, we're going to be seeing. I need to call your dad. I need to talk to him because this will happen.
All right, youngster, out you go.
Don't come back. Ever.
And you see, when that happens, and you're being dragged out the door of the room to go out and back and get a switch taken to your bum, I'm have to lower that rope ladder to Mike in the dinghy and have him come back up, which negates this meeting we have.
Hilarious, Baron.
You love it.
No, I know. But no, particularly for the Dungeons and the Dragons franchise. Did I say something wrong there before?
You said the Dungeons and the Dragons.
Okay. Instead of saying, isn't that
Dungeons and Dragons?
Right. Dungeons and the Dragons franchise, yes.
No.
I know. I said it wrong. I said Dungeons and Dragons franchise, right? I said right. Well, they put.
Hey, Mike, get over in that thing.
How about new?
He's joining you, and I'm bringing you up. Okay.
I can't stop laughing, but no. What it says is particularly for the Dungeons and Dragons franchise.
It's Dungeons and Dragons, Cash, not Dungeons and the.
No, but that's what they said in the article. I'm just saying.
No, I'm reading it right here. For the Dungeons and Dragons franchise. For the Dungeons and Dragons, not for the Dungeons and the Dragons.
But the Dungeons and Dragons franchise.
No. You put a V before Dragon.
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass? What happens?
All right. So, anyways, however, last year Wizards of the Coast canceled 5 games, including 2 Dungeons and Dragons projects in development at Hidden Path Entertainment and Other Side Entertainment. Given the newly confirmed push, it's safe to guess those projects were axed due to their own problems rather than a change in strategy. Weasels of the Coast currently owns Archetype Entertainment, which is working on the Mass Effect-like sci-fi RPG Exodus. Skeleton Key, Atomic Energy currently working on a AAA G.I. Joe game based on the character Snake Eyes. And Evoke Studios, formerly known as Tourniquet, and now working on a new AAA Dungeons and Dragons game powered by Unreal Engine 5. Weasels of the Coast is also in talks with various partners to continue the Baldur's Gate franchise following Laren's decision to find its own path elsewhere.
Yeah, Cash's dad? Yeah. This is Baron Tagge. You might have heard him. Maybe Cash had talked about. Oh, yeah. That righteous asshole bastard. Yeah, that's me. Nice to know he speaks good of me around the house. But have you been watching this broadcast at all? You haven't. You should watch a little bit of it. Especially the Dungeons and the Dragons. You might want to. What? Oh, you're gonna have a go up to right now and have a talk with you. So okay. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. And I have a lot of respect for you. Okay. Bye. What was that? Sorry, I wasn't listening to the story much there.
And known as, excuse me, Took. I said that wrong. Took. Yes.
Took.
So, Took.
Mm-hmm. I never heard of these. Hidden Path Entertainment and Other Side Entertainment. I never
Me
really.
either, man. Me either.
Yeah. Okay. For Wizard, I thought this was something where, should I know who they are? Because I did want to address Spock's Friday Nights. Well, that would be the reaction when you see a sphincter. You back out because usually you're going. That's an exit only, not an entrance. So
Yep.
So that. So of course you're going to back out of the sphincter door. So just say, see, at least that wasn't a dick
Yep.
joke.
No. Oh man. Yep.
I mean, honestly, they're going to do 1 to 2 games a year. So I'm assuming each one of the studios is going to do one, and they'll release them. That way, they have double teaming it. So the one will do the one game for the one part of the year. Then the other one will put out the other game while the other one's getting ready to do the next one, and so on and so forth, which really isn't a bad strategy as long as they talk with each other, if it's supposed to be somehow connected. But that seems a little too ambitious. I mean, how often we've been told it takes years to get these games going and billions of dollars. That's why we haven't had a release of a sequel of this game, or this game's not released now because it's we have a couple more years we need to do on this.
Yep.
How are they going to keep that commitment, honestly, and without making a cheap, pathetic game or cheap looking game, or a piece of garbage? Now, don't get me wrong. I think the numbers when they sit back and say that is greatly inflated. They can do these things a lot faster, but just like anything else, you got people that want to F around and goof off and just kind of raking the money. Well, the longer I'm working on it, I got a paycheck, that type of thing.
Exactly.
So, I mean, when you see what Lucas filmed back in the day, bringing these movies out every 3 years and all the work they had to do with the special effects, the CGI, all that wonderful stuff. I'm talking about the prequels, obviously. And even within that 3-year time, they're not necessarily working on the film completely. There's just a little bit of a break, and they get into it, and then they start working on it.
Yep.
So if they can do that every 3 years, why can't a game company do something like that in the gaming industry where they're just not farting around?
Right.
And then when they do release it, it's like, why do you guys fart around? Why did you fart around on this game? Actually, why were you taking so much time on this game? Because this game that you gave us after all this farting around, this game,
it stinks.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yes. Hello, Anna. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, Anna's here? Oh, okay. And about Spot. Oh, hi, Anna. Long time no see. Good to see you.
It's been a while, Anna. We'll have to talk again soon.
Why is he? Well, he is hiding his chin. I don't know. Does that matter? I'm just wondering.
Oh man.
No,
it was like I was drunk. I just kept saying. Well, I thought I was saying the words right. I know you're just giving me shit there.
Yeah, I had to.
But I was like it was like Dungeons.
Someone's got
it was like I was drunk on some run. I was drunk on rum or something, man.
Yeah.
Stay out of my stand.
Yeah, there he is down there with the megaphone yelling up at us. Kind of sweet, if you ask me. No, I mean Hasbro, WotC, Weasels of the Coast, as you like to call them. I mean, they're in tough shape, and a lot of it has to do with their crappy woke agenda, and we have to be honest about it. It's like, and they're insulting of the fan base, at least the fan base that kept this game alive, and telling them they don't matter no more. We just want these other people who really don't give a frig about this franchise, which is why what happens? Their sales have gone down. And what happens over at Paizo, who can be a little woke, theirs gone up with Pathfinder.
Right.
Especially with their new Pathfinder 2nd edition. So remember when they lost all? They weren't able to supply orders at Paizo because they ran out of books and they had to severely start printing them, and there was a wait for them. And anyone who did have it, they figured, hey, I can sell my book for mucho dinero, and then wait until the new ones come out. this is what you're going to be looking at. And if you are going to want to go computer all the way, that's not what Dungeons and Dragons is about. It really isn't.
No, Dungeons and Dragons are not about that. No.
It comes right down to is about sitting at a kitchen table, being the knights of the kitchen table, sitting across from each other, looking at the DM, and then get nervous because the DM has that certain look on his face when you say, I'm going to open this door up. Okay. I mean, I just knew DMs that did that just to, they weren't planning, but they wanted to keep that suspense, that keep the player on edge, so they didn't get cocky. And it was made excellent gameplay from that one because, well, it made you feel like you were in a true dungeon. You could be pounced on anytime. It's when he didn't say anything that you got scared. But Archie, because we had female DMs as well and female players.
Yeah, there were.
Right. But
D&D has been around a long time. I mean, we're talking about since the 80s, so, or even a little bit before that, actually.
Oh, in the 70s, man. 70s, right? Yeah. But when it comes around the video gaming, they've been around since the 80s. SSI Studios released several games from, basically, I'm trying to remember some of the title, but they did a Raven's Loft, they did a Spelljammer, they did several Forgotten Realms. I think they even went into Dark Sun. But they had a good, successful line of bringing these out. But what was the one thing that was missing? Well, one, they weren't MMOs. We didn't have those at the time. But sitting across from a friend of yours and throwing stuff at them because they decided to go, I walk in and cast Fireball. The room's 5 foot by 5. I cast Fireball. I hate you. I just hate you.
Well, you had ones like Dragon Strike, which was related to D&D. You had all kinds of. I mean, that was a board game that went back a long time. We're talking like 90s. I still have it in my cabinet somewhere. But yeah, it's D&D is it's basically the foundation of all this fantasy stuff. Without D&D, we don't get what's all this stuff that we do. I mean, you can say that about a lot of different things, but it just that's why D&D should be still what it is, what it's changing into, and what you see in Beargate 3. And some of it is not, there's a lot of D&D content. There's a lot of Dungeon and Dragon content or Dungeons and Dragons content. But the thing is, it's still, there never was this push for sex, for example, in D&D ever. There really was. You can put that in there. I understand, but there was still never a push for that, ever.
It was a joke when we talking. I tried to pick up the winch. Well, if we role play this, I'm a guy over here, so I have to role play the winch. Ew. Then there's the one guy that goes, ooh. So, but no, I mean, when it comes down to it, no, it was not about the sex. It was about the adventuring. It was about all that. It's not about how big can I make my dinghy look and when I make my character, because I want to have a big dinghy to impress everyone in the Bears. But no, it was like, when has that ever been important in character creation of a character?
Yep.
Exactly. Now, in your home games, if that's what you wanted to do, knock yourself out, kids. But it was never meant to be how it came from the publisher. I know I brought up before there was that third edition, was from one of the, separate party from WotC, because they had that licensing agreement where you could go out and make your own stuff for the 3.0 and eventually 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons. I think this kind of, when they put this out, they made them put some rules in there. It was basically basically all it was about sex and D&D. I mean, it was a thick book, and they went to everything. It was like the joy of sex and dragons. I mean, but again, that wasn't official WotC. They didn't take lightly to it, or even liked it. It did kind of change that you can't do that. I mean, some of the people were putting the classic, like we had in the first editions, where you had like a topless sprite or whatever, and it wasn't gratuitous. It was just that, oh yeah, I can see boobies, that type of stuff. And they even put a moratorium on that. Any problem, anything you put up that has any association with us, you can't have that.
Mm-hmm.
How did we get from there to here?
Mm-hmm. Because I feel like it's some weird fan fiction stuff. That's what I feel like. It's just a lot of this stuff. They want this stuff to turn into a legitimate product or a book or a novel or whatever, because it's their weird ass fan fiction stuff going on, and that's very unfortunate. I've never anything that we've played related to D&D or Dungeons and Dragons or Dungeons and Dragons or whatever you want to call it was always, we had the dungeon, we saw the dragons, Baron, and then we also went through other things that happen in town and so on. I mean, it's the same thing. You play Talisman, you play other games like that. You've got that same kind of format. You're going to go here, something may happen, roll the dice. Right. Mm-hmm. Instead you have a dungeon master who's, going to tell you, okay, you can do this and this. But when people tell you that they're playing a game and somebody's like, oh, I got an STD, and you're like, isn't that funny? And you're just like, I gotta say, at that point, I'm probably walking away from the game, because I'm just like, this is too much.
And that's what that third-party book had. You could you do that stuff, and it's like,
I'm sure.
Yeah. Again, why? Right,
I mean, it's like, exactly.
And here's an embarrassing confession. I had to sit back and say, all the years I played this, and even Pathfinder, honestly, I don't think ever once I've done battle with a dragon. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, we
had other things, but it was like we were going after other stuff and such like that. But I don't think we ever went up against a dragon.
Right.
And if you're going to go to Dragonlance, obviously, I never played Dragonlance. I didn't care for it.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's fine.
But you had your with Forgotten Realms or My World Greyhawk. There was a lot of other things to battle that were just as interesting. I tell you what. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what the game is about. It's not trying to have your sexual identity or perversions pushed onto other players.
I agree.
And that's why you're losing sales. And that's why you push people away like me. That and the fact that you can't help but insult people like me who have gone out there, embraced, and helped keep the company alive in the dark days buying their product. I mean, I got all the box sets from second edition behind me. And that cost money. But I got them. The ones I like, that is. I wasn't blindly going it. And other stuff, too, that they had for the TSR. They had like Gamma World and the Space Frontiers. But when it comes down to that, why go after me? I realize that you're a bunch of punk-ass, snotty kids that are starting to run this. And you view me as a quote-unquote boomer now. But if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be sitting there being a jackass like you are now. And I guess that's all I got to sit back and say. I don't see how they're going to do this. It's going to be hard work. I just hope they put out a quality product. But going video games and start focusing on that more than pen and paper, yeah, you're going to be dead. Pazel, get ready to have a second or third money bin, because you're going to rival Cash Money now, because they're just going to pour stuff into you. But that with Pathfinder, Starfinder, all the other stuff.
You're right. No, yeah, and I hear Pathfinder's really good. I've never played it, though, that part of D&D.
I have to sit back and go here. Ironically, I like that. Pathfinder, who's joined us, he's a D&D fan, but never played Pathfinder. That's false advertisement. Shame on you. Shame on you. No, just kidding. But yeah, I understand. I know a lot of people haven't, but for some, that was when they went 4th edition. That was the best way they could keep the 3.5 experience, calling it 3.75. So I know a little bit, not much. Well, moving on. Unless there's something else you have to say there, the Bloom coin?
No, not really, man. I think we covered it.
Well, thank you, Mike. That's exactly what I was going to do. I was just being polite to Cash for once. So this is from the guys that we simp for, Bounty in the Comics, because we always, they're everything. Yeah, right.
Well, Mike's probably sitting there right now with his mojito. And
mojito?
just chilling out and stuff.
Yeah, sitting back and
ready to yell at us if we make mistakes.
Oh no, he's just got the buttons
I am the captain
ready
now. The buttons to eject us.
No, he's got the buttons so he can go.
Help! I'm being repressed.
Or he might even do this.
Right. I said, I ain't giving you no $350, you goddamn Loch Ness monster. Get your own goddamn money.
I gave him a
Give him a dollar.
Extinction to all traitors!
Yeah,
that's what happens if we decided to bash Transformers for some reason.
I didn't bash them.
No, not yet.
Only when Phil's around. That's when I sit back and say GoBots are superior.
GoBots.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Why throw away your life so recklessly?
Yeah, we know how fall goes, sadly. No, Optimus Prime. So, again, going back to this, Bounty in the Comics. This is Byline, J.B. Augustine, yesterday, July 30th. And the headline is Matt Reeves says, the Batman Arkham and Gotham PD spinoffs were canceled for lack of marquee characters. Yeah, a few hundred. Yeah, that's just a start. Oh, you have a few $100 worth of third edition. Oh, just keep playing those out, man. You should see mine. I'm in the same. I'm in the same boat, man. Between that and some of the third party stuff. Oh yeah, my bookshelf is about to fall on me. And we have Oz, Colin Farrell, stuck his beak down the wrong street in The Penguin. Yeah. So let us start out here. Boy, so okay. Where does it start? That's kind of an odd start.
Do you see how they messed up their website a little bit?
J.B. Augustine, what are you doing, man?
Come on,
Who
man.
is your editor? Come on. Well, I'm just going to start off here. It's going to sound weird for people. It's not me. It's Bounty in the Comics. That's why we more than happy make fun of them. A series that Matt Reeves was developing to build his bat for. I wonder if he's trying to continue on off of that one, off the headline. Matt Reeves was developing to build his Batverse, or what he calls his Batman epic crime saga, were consolidated a few years ago, only to end up canceled, like Discovery, like Lower Decks. Now we know why. And there we go. We have Batman and Catwoman. As she explains to him why all white males are bad. I have the answer boils down to the studio's pressure, as any entity with command and checkbook is going to have its own ideas. Does that make sense? Okay. That are more focused on taking advantage of marquee characters.
Read it again. No. Anyways, continue.
I mean, actually, it might have worked up. I just want to make sure. As opposed to exploring new areas of an open world. We were writing the movie, The Batman. I was like, hey, you know what? I think there are some cool shows that we could do. Reeves said to Entertainment Weekly via Deadline.
Weekly, yes. Wiki is funny.
Oh, yeah. WEAQLY, Entertainment Weekly.
Right. Yes.
How do you do that? How you? Okay, so Entertainment Weekly got. Are they saying they got this from Deadline? Get off your fat ass and call the guy up, okay? Of how his plans germinated. It was actually why I wanted to make our deal at Warner Brothers. And of course, there we go. There's Sparkly Batman. So Reeves and producer Dylan Clark went to work on the series about the Gotham police and how they got so corrupt, later adding the Arkham Asylum idea to their workload. The two concepts eventually merged into one, and not because someone realized Warner Brothers Television already made a show about the city cops.
Mm.
No. WB kept pushing that marquee character agenda on Reeves and Clark. According to the director, they were like,
They were like,
we were
man?
like,
They
we
were
like what you're doing, and we want to lean harder into the marquee characters. He said, this potentially explains why Arkham was canceled and the Penguin not. Reeves discussed the arc that Colin Farrell portrayal went through.
Portrayal, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting is that in the movie, the big red herring of the story is it seems like the person they're looking for, that the Riddler pointing to must be the Penguin, some kind of informant. This movie creates a power vacuum, and because Penguin is so underestimated, people don't really see who he is, he added. I've never underestimated the Penguin. Have you ever underestimated the Penguin? I never have.
Sure. No. Not that I know of.
Good answer. Reeves envisioned a mythic Shakespearean tale.
Ooh.
Well, how would you like that? Come thee down, Penguin, for I have you in my clutches. To the gale you go for the crimes that you bestoken upon society. I don't know. Tale which might be the tone this series shoots for. The Penguin debuts on Max later this year. Although Arkham is off the table now, it could be revived at a later date. Nice short story. I like that. So,
yeah, I'm gonna give this show a chance. It looks good. I liked Penguin in the Batman, so I'm gonna try it.
You gonna try the Penguin one? Okay, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a chance.
Yeah, he looks like a good crime lord there.
I just feel like the Batman, the movie in general, is I don't even need to say in general, but the Batman, it was an enjoyable film, but I don't want to watch it again. I just don't. There's some things that, you know.
Well, do you think the sparkly Batman really did go out there and make an impact, especially with all this DCU garbage that's going on and with Gunn? And this is not being part of that universe. It's going to be separate. And just right now, really a freaking mess is all I can see that's going on at Warner Brothers with this in DC.
Mm-hmm.
Was it really that impactful, you think?
I think it's possible, yes. And it would be just nice to see something. This is like the Penguin meets Sopranos. So I think this has potential. And I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the Penguin can be quite vile. So, it makes sense.
But, I mean, overall, for a universe like this, though, to continue on, try to do an Arkham series or what? I mean, I really don't understand. No, fully. It doesn't really sit back and say exactly what they were wanting to do with this Batverse from the story. Mm-hmm. But he thinks, the lack of marquee characters. And he's saying it's the studios that were wanting it, not him. So what direction was he wanting to go? And how would you do that without bats?
I'm never sure, man, because how would you do that without bats? Right. I mean, I guess you can make it work. Since they're going with this Soprano type situation, I guess you can make it work, but they have a lot. That's right. Sopranos in Gotham. Yes. They have a lot of, they've got a lot of fix, because what happens is, okay, they have the Batman films and have been doing well. Even the Batman made good money, but then a lot of this other stuff from Green Lantern, you go down the list, it's not doing very well. Even the second Aquaman, they're like, well, this doesn't connect to the Snyderverse anymore, so why are people going to really care about it?
Well, to be fair, the Green Lantern movie was done before all of this. You're talking about the Ryan Reynolds one?
Yeah. I know it was.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily include that with this BS.
But I'm just saying that, right? But I'm just saying that there's this history of this Marvel films, that live action ones, that haven't done very well. There's some that have, but there's other ones that haven't, and even Discovery. Look, I'm going to say it again. You want to start really fixing things? Get rid of people like Ezra Miller in your company. Get rid of him. The guy is a headache. you know. Yep.
Well, again, the most disturbing thing is he liked the Flash movie with him in it, and he likes Ezra Miller.
He did.
But everybody else can go.
Right.
So that's why I think he's still there. He wants to use Ezra Miller still, even though he's a big sack of poison.
Right.
No, I don't think there's anybody out there that really likes the guy. And I'm talking about fans, especially with all the shenanigans he did. And I know there are a lot of fans that don't like his acting.
Right. I would hope not.
Oh, I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's some that go out. It's like it's like watching that girl from the movie Juno playing the Flash. They almost look the same, especially after she transitioned.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it looks like that Page girl that's now a guy.
Well,
he does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It looks like her after getting the cuts and the haircut and all that.
DC needs a win, man, and not just Batman. They need some other wins. And however you feel about the Snyderverse, I thought at least that's a direction. At least it's a direction, and they could build on that. Sure, they've made some mistakes with that, but they could build on that. And so going through this whole reboot process, I don't know how it's going to work out for them. We're going to see how the new Superman movie does. I don't know if I really want to see that personally, but
I don't know. Just from everything that Gunn was talking about leading up to it, it's like, and of course we saw some of those images, him putting his booties on.
Right.
But here's the biggest help I can give DC. And I mean, I'm not going to do the obvious one, get rid of James Gunn. No, I'm not going to do the obvious one. My biggest one is quit trying to copy Disney Marvel.
Right. Agreed.
Don't think you're going to have to start doing all these epics like a Crisis on Infinite Earth, where you have several movies leading up to whatever it is, or even some of the other stuff that they had before that. Mm-hmm. Get away from the multiverses. Yes, we know there is multiverses in DC.
Yeah, there are.
But
when you go crazy with this multiverse stuff, it seems like just lazy writing. Oh, we'll just put this in the multiverse. How is that not turned into lazy writing? I don't.
Right. I mean, when they did it before, it was intriguing because they're giving the answer to why does Batman of today different than the Batman from so many years ago? And it's like, well, you had Earth 1 and you had Earth 2. You had Earth 1 Joker. You had Earth 1 Batman, Earth 2 Batman. And so on and so on and so forth. They had the who's who of the DC universe. Great one. And of course, Marvel had their own version of that, basically the encyclopedia of all their characters that they had in there.
Right.
They even did a who's who for Star Trek when DC had Star Trek for the first run. That was kind of fun. Just a second.
Yeah. The whole thing about.
I'm sorry. I'm just so phlegmy today. I blame it on the weather. We just had a storm go through, and the pollen and the humidity and all that. It's like,
well, we
I
just
can't complain too much. It's not like Texas. It's not like Texas thing.
Yeah.
You're saying?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, we just have to do a good enough job, or Mike's going to try to come find us, and then we're going to have to pull out our broadswords.
Cutlasses. Cutlasses.
Cutlasses. Fine.
Right. The cutlasses are what pirates have. Arrrrr. They didn't have broadswords.
I like my broadsword, but yeah.
You really have one?
No.
Oh, I got 3. Want one?
Oh, do you? Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
For real, I'm not kidding.
Cool. That's cool. Right. I agree with Pathfinder on that. It's just lazy. I mean, even South Park made fun of it. It's just stuff that we've seen. They do too much of it. Some of it is fine. Others, it becomes too much. I mean, like even in the Deadpool Wolverine movie, they make fun of the multiverse. Well, it's not hard to make fun of it.
No.
It really isn't.
Right, exactly, and obviously going into it, realizing these movies are a cinematic alternate universe to the comic books, which is a good thing because it's really kind of hard to transcribe how many years of comics some of these have had. I mean, 1962, I believe, for Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm. I know it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, everything that's been in there, and even then with some of these, limited run series or these series that they have within the comics, or amongst all these other ones, where okay, you need to read this Superman, then this Action comic, then this Batman, and then you need to read this Flash, and then you need to read this Green Arrow, and then you have to read this Justice League International, and then you have to read this Booster Gold, and then this Blue Beetle, and then along the side, the main one that they have going for 12 issues, which they did back in the 80s, and trying to put that on screen, forget about it.
Right.
But don't be like Marvel like that. And unintentionally, they are kind of doing it now with the Batman.
Right.
And Gunn's little mess that he's coming up with.
Yes.
I mean, just no end. So
yeah, and look, I think because the Penguin was, I thought it was a solid performance by Colin. I think yes, it can work. So we'll see how it goes.
Well,
but
yeah,
they need. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, my apologies. Well, see, then it comes down to the actor and the character. Okay, this actor and character shined above all else.
Right.
What options are there in this universe? Yeah, he will draw in there because he's Colin Farrell and it's the Penguin.
Right.
Right. And now we have actual confirmation that the Joker from Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is not the real Joker. Well, I could have told you that.
Right.
So just because you have one really big standout from that movie is, you could run a series like that, which I understand is a. Just a second here. They love barking. I think the Mrs. Long Suffering's home. Okay, back. Sorry about that. I released the hounds. What was I sitting back saying now? Okay, but does that really keep the interest of Robert Patrick? That's who played him, right? Robert Patrick? I'm trying to remember the name of the actor who played Batman. The sparkly vampire. How's that?
You said Robert Patrick. No.
Yeah, I know.
Robert Patrick's a lot older than Pattinson.
Yeah. Well, and he's also a Terminator, so.
We'll just keep correcting ourselves during the stream. If we don't, then
hey, at least we do.
At least we do. We do. Yeah.
Because we care, and it's also a fun laugh.
We do. It is. Yeah.
And before we go on, I think we're coming to the end of it. Was there anything else you had to say about this?
Nope.
Okay,
we're good.
Well, before we go on, I get the honor of doing this. Ha ha ha.
You do.
T-Gap, Big Daddy, T-Gap Steve. He is the
T-Cap of the caps. Yeah.
Yeah, he is the man of the hour, the Tower of Power himself. He gifted 5 Pacific414 memberships out. One again going to Jace Fox, who I'm sure has the wheel rigged, honestly. Then we have if we're going to do this, we're going to do this. No, we're going to do this right.
Anonymous.
We had to do that one. And of course, in an act of irony, or maybe it was the plan, T-Gap gifted himself a membership. Apion, he's got one. And David Chin, also known as David Chin, he's now become part of the team. So again, just like follow up with what Mike's saying right there. Thank you so very much, T-Gap. Mike is very appreciative. We all are. And thank you for sharing the love. And it's worth it. It really is. It really is.
Good job, T-Cap. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So we gained a little prodding from the dinghy here. This came up. This is actually my story here. I kind of found this interesting. Again, this is from Bound.
Actually, real quick, before you continue, boys, I just thought, since I was thanking T-Gap Steve, I would go ahead and show the results of the poll that we put up for our next watch party for next month.
Didn't you lock the door, Cash?
No, I guess not.
Oh, damn it. I didn't either. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Good to see you.
Yeah, he got in there. Yeah.
Nobody locks the door on Pacific414, especially you two.
No, we just throw you in the dinghy.
He's gonna try to yell at us later. That's what's gonna happen.
He will.
But seriously, Tagge, thank you, brother. That's why. That's the real reason why I wanted to come on here is to thank you personally for that super chat. Thank you very much, brother. You've been very generous these past few months, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Very cool, man.
But you said you had an announcement to make.
Yes,
Don Mike.
Yes.
He's going to give us a box of chocolates, Baron. That's so nice.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're not Forrest Gump. I'm not Forrest Gump. Capiche?
How do you know I'm not Forrest Gump? How do you know Baron's not Forrest Gump?
I'm James Wood. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
So recently, I put up a poll on X, Discord, and YouTube asking which movie would you all like to see for the month of August as our watch party. So, with 2 votes only on Discord, and the votes were for The Godfather and Bambi, 1 each. You have that there, and then over on X, there was a total of 6 votes, and on X, it was 3 for Goodfellas, and it was 2 for The Godfather, and 1 for The Crow. And then I looked over at the votes on YouTube, and there's a total of 15 votes. There was 5 for The Godfather, then 3 for Goodfellas, The Crow, Bambi, and then 2010 was a suggestion by Leia Rose. So adding those totals together, next month we're gonna watch The Godfather.
And see, I was honorable. I only voted once.
I didn't vote at all. I didn't think it'd be right for me to vote on my own poll.
Right, because if I would have voted on all the polls on all the different channels, we'd be seeing this.
Relax, will you? For crying out, what's getting to you? I'm breaking your balls a little bit. That's all. I'm only kidding with you.
Well, as I told you guys before, yes, The Godfather is the ultimate winner. And that'll occur on Wednesday, August 11th at 2024. But, you guys don't want me to become Ray Liotta because we could watch Goodfellas later on in the month.
Oh.
Ray Liotta, what a great actor he was.
Yes, he was.
Yes. There's only one Godfather movie.
No. There's 2.
There's only one that you need to concern yourself with for this watch party.
Oh, this watch party, yeah.
Yeah. Just one. We don't talk about the third one. Nobody talks about the third one.
What third one? There was never a third one. What are you talking about, man?
But anyways, I just wanted to come on here and thank you to T-Gap Steve for those memberships. Really appreciate it, brother. You've been very generous these last few months. I do appreciate it, brother. And just to let you all know what our watch party is going to be. Now, gentlemen, don't wreck my ship.
Too late.
He said he was in the dinghy. We mean he's backstage, so he's watching everything, watching all the comments. So don't think that we've totally taken over the show. He's down in the dinghy with his megaphone yelling up at us. Okay, so I'll bring this back up to stage. What was that?
No, I just because if we don't, but right now we only have let's see, go with this clip. No, this one. Yep, we'll go with this one. So we've only got 2 of these people.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
I still like the guy who sits the whole thing. And he's looking around like, huh?
I know he is. All right.
That's the USS Pop Talk exploring space. So
that's right.
Okay, this one is also from Bounding in the Comics. The greatest site ever. Yeah.
We got a lot of Bounding the Comics. We didn't expect to.
Well, there was a lot. The only reason why is there was just a lot of juicy stuff to talk about on there. I did put some of them in others.
Yes.
But it's like I love when you have a news week, man. Just piece of candy, piece of candy.
Yep.
So this is us being lazy, just going to Bounty in the comics. Say, okay, work done. So this is Byline by Ryan Pearson, and that was a couple of days ago, July 29th.
Ryan Pearson, all right. Yeah.
Ryan Pearson, yeah. And see, I don't think we've had a Spencer Pakula yet.
Oh, okay.
Hey, see. So I mean, the fact that you haven't seen a Spencer Pakula means that we actually did work. Because usually it's Spencer Pakula. Okay, Spencer, you can go back home now. Okay, rest. Video game voice actors go on strike, demand fair compensation and the right of informed consent for the AI use of their faces, voices, and bodies. I thought the AI use. Okay, I understand now. So our friends over at SAG-AFTRA, was, of course, the greatest SAG-AFTRA president that we've ever had. Voice actors and actresses have once again gone on strike. What? They've gone on strike again? No.
Oh.
No.
What the hell you say?
No.
Did I say, I mean, I realize this is the voice actor, but they were affected the first time also. Did I say that before then, now and then, that there was going to be something like this? And it's all coming up because of AI.
Yes.
So the voice actor and actresses have once again gone on strike, this time over employers using artificial intelligence. Now, this here, honestly, I can see them, unlike the other strike, where it's just a bunch of pissing and moaning from entitled snarkies, I can see this. It goes back to the old, royalty thing where Gilligan's Island's being played ad nauseum and no one's getting a red cent from those. So, voice actors and actresses from the Screen Actor Guild's American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, also known as SAG-AFTRA, previously went on strike in October of 2016, eventually settling in September of 2017. The 3-year contract with major publishers and developers agreed to increase pay, protection of dangerous voices, and stunt work, and more. Oh, and protection for dangerous voices.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe because they might be losing their voice, I'm suspecting. However, one point that wasn't addressed exactly as requested was limitations on the use of AI, as the interactive media agreement ended in November of 2022, as reported by Kotaku.
Kotaku.
Oh, that's close.
Yeah.
Negotiations in September 2023 broke down, which requested more pay, on-set medics for stunt work, and once again, limitations on AI. Despite an agreement in January of this year to safely explore new environments opportunities for their digital voice replicas with the industry-leading protections, SAG-AFTRA voice actors and actresses have once again gone on strike. Remember when Disney artwork was great? Okay. In a statement by Kotaku, chief negotiator Duncan Crabtree, Ireland, noted, he's from Scotland, by the way. I don't know. I don't know. He's from Nigeria. He's from Nigeria. The video game industry generates billions of dollars in profit annually. The driving force behind that success is the creative people who design and create those games. That includes the SAG-AFTRA members who bring memorabilia and beloved game characters to life, and they deserve and demand the same fundamental protection as performers in film, television, streaming, and music. Fair compensation and the right of informed consent for the AI use of their faces, voices, and bodies, Crabtree, Ireland demanded. The negotiator then balked. Frankly, It's stunning that these video game studios haven't learned anything from the lessons last year, that our members can and will stand up and demand fair and equitable treatment with respect to AI. And the public supports us in that. Well, I think you and I do. Am I talking out of turn? I mean,
I just AI has its place, but there can be problems too. But I also feel like this also happened because of the elitism with these actors over the years, including the voice actors, that they are like, oh, we're doing such an amazing job. We deserve this, and this. That just put together more time into it. They do, but it's also, I don't know. It's like, AI can be a mess, but I also feel like they've caused some of these problems to themselves. They would never do that. Yeah.
Oh no, they never would. But still, it comes down to the one thing, though, is if their likeness, if their voice,
right,
and all that is being used for the AI, screwing them out of that.
Right.
Well,
it's a problem.
One, you got some copyright issues here.
Yes.
Because that is that person. And of course, they're out of a job because of themselves.
Right.
I mean, I can understand that with the AI stuff. The other stuff we can, talk about. But that is the one thing that I am, which I think should be. AI is a fun thing to do for a hobby, but I don't want it taking over our industry. Writers, actors, voice actors, all that, singers. Leave it to untalented jerks like me who just use it as a hobby and play around with because I have no talent. I admit it. I admit it. That's why I play around in it. But I've never have or will ask money for anything I do because again, it's just a fun, silly, stupid hobby, and it helps our stuff out a little bit, which is good. We look forward to collaborating with teams on our interim and independent contracts, which provide AI transparency, consent, and compensation to all performers, and to continuing to negotiate in good faith with this bargaining group. When they are ready to join us in the world we all deserve. Elmich, I can't pronounce that word. Oh, I dropped one down. The negotiating chairman. That's why I got ahead of myself. But negotiating chair, Sarah, whatever, also stated 18 months of negotiation have shown us our employers are not interested in fair, reasonable AI protection, but rather flagrant exploitation. We refuse this paragraph. You help me, Cash.
Where are we at right now? I'll pull this up.
Right there.
Okay, right there.
Yeah.
It should be paragram.
No,
paradigm.
That is one of the word. That word right there is the thing that really messes with my dyslexia. It's like
paradigm.
Start. Yeah.
Well, I kept saying Dungeons and the Dragons, so I was like,
So that has nothing to do. That has nothing to do.
But I'm just saying, I kept, for some reason, that just kept popping into my head, and it's supposed to be, it's ridiculous. I kept saying "and the dragons," like it's ridiculous.
Did your dad come up yet?
No, he didn't.
I'm going to give him a call again when I'm done with the story.
I know, but really, I kept reading it in my mind like that. It's like, no, that's not what it is. It's just.
Funny. I know. Yeah. I know exactly. AP News reports that in a news conference, SAG-AFTRA Chief Contracts Officer Ray Rodriguez, also known as Bending Rodriguez, claimed, the industry has told us point blank that they do not necessarily consider everyone who is rendering movement performance to be a performer that is covered by the collective bargaining agreement. Oh, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. He further adds that some physical performances were being treated as data, along with an AI imitating an actor or actress's voice or appearing without their consent. Motion capture could hypothetically be used to train an AI into producing new animations without needing to pay a real person. Okay. Well, with the first part they had up there about being a motion performer and all that, I kind of remember that back when they did Lord of the Rings, Billy Barty was, and a few other little people were used to do the motion for the characters of the hobbits, right? And they weren't going to credit them, and he demanded that they get credited because they did the work. They could pull that out in a heartbeat and say, what about this example? Because Billy Barty was not going to get any credit, or the others. When it comes down to the other one with the data, now, if you're going out there purposely imitating an actor or actress's voice with the AI and their body and their motion, again, dare I say, it's like this show, piracy. You just pirated that actor.
Right. You did.
It comes down to it comes down to using any image of somebody. You're going to get Dave Thomas. Well, he's going to be given, back in the day, even though he was part of Wendy's, he still got compensation for doing that for his likeness.
Yeah.
Many other people you come around with that you always seen, they're going to be compensated for their likeness if it's ever used. So, Mr. Whipple with Charmin, right? They go out there and put a poster up with his face squeezing the Charmin. Well, he's going to be compensated for that. Now you do a CG of that, a CG AI of that, and put it out there. It's Mr. Whipple, but it's not. Well, then they sit back and say, well, it's not really him, so we're not going to pay any money. Is that fair? It's his likeness. It's who he is.
Yeah, that word Baron was Emila. I think they said it was pronounced, so I had to look.
Oh, Mela? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you.
No problem, man.
Never said I was good at that. So
we're gonna get better at this if we have to, man. So
even if it takes,
we're doing fine, man. A lot of
not.
People don't. No, we are, man. We're doing fine. A lot of people wouldn't bother, pronouncing these words. So
because we care.
We care. That's right. I care too.
So Bending Rodriguez emphasized, we strike as a matter of last resort, as they always say. We have given this process absolutely as much time as we responsibly can. We have exhausted the other possibilities, and that is why we're doing it now. And one thing, before we go on, I have to find this picture ironic.
Mm-hmm.
You have the T-1000 next to Conan.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, who played the T-500.
I know people like this with these DLCs, but I'm just fine with just the Mortal Kombat cast. I don't need to play as Conan or the Terminator.
You want to be Conan with the chin. You want to be Conan with the chin.
I understand why they do it, but I just don't.
Yeah, I know. Again, it's to get people interested in new things. It's an easy, cheap out. It really is. Let's just add a new character, do a couple little tweaks on this program, and we go.
The first Mortal Kombat started with 8 characters, and that was fine. You could still play those 8 characters and have fun. I just feel like a lot of this stuff has become gimmicks. But people, I guess, want them. They want to play as Freddy and do this collaboration, Freddy against Scorpion or something. I'm like, okay, those things I just never cared about. I just don't.
No, nah.
And some of this other stuff, yeah.
I've never really been a big fan of crossing something like, what if Star Trek was battling Star Wars or Battlestar Galactica in Star Wars?
Right, exactly. Who cares?
I don't care.
I don't care about that. I get some people do, maybe more than
I
some.
know they do.
Yeah.
So Audrey Cooling, she's chill. A spokesman for the companies in the interactive media agreement told Kotaku, "We are disappointed the union has chosen to walk away when we are so close to a deal, and we remain prepared to resume negotiations. We have already found common ground on 24 of our 25 proposals, including historic wage increases and additional safety provisions. Our offer is directly responsive to SAG-AFTRA's concerns and extends meaningful AI protections that include requiring consent and fair compensation to all performers working under the IMA. These terms are among the strongest in the entertainment industry, Cooling insists. The strike snubs the likes of Activision, Disney, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, Electronic Arts, boo-hoo, Take-Two Interactive, yeah, so anyways, and Warner Brothers. But it will not affect games that began development prior to September 2023, obviously. This includes Grand Theft Auto 6. Kotaku also notes this wouldn't affect Dragon Age, the Veilguard. Oh,
you got it.
Damn.
Yeah, the Veilguard.
Damn. Yeah, it's still going to come out now? Oh, come on.
Yeah,
as voice actors have likely completed their work. They probably have a long time ago, actually. One of the affected companies is Epic Games. Oh, that's bad. But anyways, founder and CEO Tim Sweeney had tweeted just days before the strike. Epic supports the Screen Actors Guild's view that game companies shouldn't receive generative AI voices, training rights on dialogue recording sessions. If a company wants to offer to license an actor or actress voice for generative AI training, there should be a very clear and specific contract for that. And they should be free to say no, perhaps in stronger words. And we'll ignore that. And if they agree, then they should be compensated accordingly. So either they say yes and get paid, or say no and we do it anyways. So we then linked on an article on SAG-AFTRA's then imminent strike. Oh God, he looks exactly like I was kind of doing the voice.
Tim Sweeney.
Tim
Sweeney, yes.
Hi, my name's Sweeney.
Yeah, I only use Epic Games for free games, so yeah.
Yeah, because you're a cheapskate. Well,
I just don't feel like spending any money on there, Baron. Some people can, but I just not even $5. I'd rather just spend it on Steam or somewhere else.
Yeah, right. Yeah, same. You know, it's like we got too many of those things. You're going to here. It's like, okay, where do I have this one? Where do I have that one? Where do I have this one? Yeah. I mean, the big thing out of this that I do have the sympathy for, is basically these studios and the way they were all talking about was okay. You're going to go train your replacement, and you're out of here in a couple weeks. But please take care of these people replacing you. Or in this case, Mr. IBM,
right,
and Mr. Windows. Mr. Macintosh. And that's the one thing I can sit back and say, yeah, no, because, again, this can get into a bad area where personal lawsuits of violation of actress's voice and voice looks, everything can be brought forward. And that's just not right. Especially when this is their career.
Yeah, it's their career. You know, AI, this was going to happen, obviously, but yeah, there has to be a limit to some of this stuff. It can't, we get too crazy. Things are going to, then AI will start taking over more of our lives. And I don't know if that's a good thing. Things that people can do with art and so on, that's fine. But even that, I don't want us to replace artists with AI art. That would be terrible, in my opinion. But
the thing I can see going is, if I was a voice actor, I would sit down and have this explicitly, even if it took 1,000 pages of a contract, that I will give permission for this franchise because I'm so identified with that, my voice or whatever, my you know, my looks, both, it doesn't matter. I will give emphatically, kind of like what James Earl Jones did with Lucasfilm. I'm done acting. I'm giving you right to be able to use my voice.
Right.
But I still get money, or if I pass, my estate gets that money until such time as it comes to it expires.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, yes, and I'm not even going to demand a high exuberant amount because it's AI that's doing it. I'm just having you pay basically my trademark, basically my copyright. And if you can't do that, then go and F yourself. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if these studios would be a little bit more transparent, actually thinking outside the box, because this stuff is happening fast. And how many times has these people come across and go, oh, we had this person lined up, but they died.
Right.
And we're not done yet. What do we do?
Yeah.
I mean, and let's face it, all actors are egotistical. We've made that known many times. Right, Captain?
How many of you think the opinions of actors should be valued as much as, well, say, doctors, engineers, or a courageous congressman?
Right here. Yeah, right on.
Well, you're wrong. Actors are self-centered punks.
But for them, living forever is being remembered forever. Right. And if their voice and their likeness can continue on past their time that they were put in the grave, I mean, that's like putting a huge statue of them.
Yes, definitely. Well, we've seen, I mean, it's weird. You had that, it must have been more than definitely 6 months ago, or at least that, around there, about the people using the voice actors of Skyrim for sex noises and stuff. That was a thing that started upsetting the voice actors who heard it. I don't know if those people were making money off of it. There was that. AI can be definitely, like I said, used for something good, but
right.
I agree with you that they probably deserve to get that money, because, I mean, if they're making money off them, that's one thing. If they're just using their voice and they're not making money,
well, yeah, you got like fan stuff and such like that. That's going to be always goes into that little tricky area. But the moment they get one red cent for it, it's like, okay, we're going after you.
Exactly.
I mean, that all in general with that. So, no, I think an actor, because technically they're an artist, technically, right? And their art needs to be protected. And their art is how they do things. Their range, especially when it comes to voice. I mean, Mark Hamill's made it known, fuck you, Mark Hamill, that he's retired from the Joker yet again. Let's see how long that lasts. But we all kind of know how full of himself he is. Maybe he'll make one where, I'll lay down this stuff to train a Joker after I'm gone. And you can use that, but not until, not until I wake up next to Palpatine in the afterlife.
Well, I mean, even his Skeletor sounded more like the Joker.
Well, yeah.
It wasn't terrible, but it sounded more like the Joker, and that's not too good. Well, I don't think. I think he should have worked more on that. I've heard him do other stuff that didn't sound like the Joker and sounded different, and
I think it's him kind of getting full of himself when it comes around that, and you get lazy, and he keeps on getting all this laud and people fawning over him and worship. That it's just easy. Okay, I just go out there. I'll use this voice because everybody loves it. I don't need to work on it. Here I am. Yay, I'm Skeletor.
Yep, exactly. Right.
I mean, don't mean be cruel.
Yeah,
but
yeah. That's great.
Looks like we have a little bit of time before we go to a rumble. Did you have anything else, or was there anything you wanted to talk about, El Castro?
No, I mean, we can we didn't have to get through all the articles. I know we spent more time talking about stuff. We had some interesting stuff, right? Yeah, we did. D&D and other things that go on. I'm glad that article Weasels of the Coast didn't make you cringe,
it did.
Well, maybe a little bit. But now I just want to go up to these people and say, instead of Dungeons and Dragons, I want to say now Dungeon and the Dragons, just to piss them off. But anyways,
there you go. You got the ammo. You can do that when your dad does that gaming convention.
Right, exactly. No,
and you can go around.
It's just funny when those things happen. But like I said, what we don't see with people who are getting paid, we don't see more professionalism where we should. Especially these people who have degrees in journalism, but we've seen this with Variety, wasn't it? Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we've seen some scumbag stuff with them. We know Bounding the Comics could use an editor sometimes, but yeah,
sometimes.
Well, okay, maybe more than sometimes. But we covered some good stuff. We didn't get to some of the stuff, the Borderlands, Randy Pitchford, some other stuff of King Spawn, maybe another day. So,
yeah, we always got that, or we can just inundate Chase tomorrow.
Right, that's true. That's true. We can just
and not that I want to bring up a new segment of the box score, but I see the Cubs are playing the Reds right now. So you know what Mike's doing? He's sitting there in his thingy, listening to the game and cussing out the Cubs.
It happens when Mike is what I like to call a true fan. He doesn't go, I've got a team in the West Coast, East Coast. I mean, that's fine, but I would say a true fan is somebody who supports the team completely and doesn't say, oh, I have a team in this playoffs and this and that. I remember one person I used to know. It's just kind of crazy. I mean, you can support who you want, but I feel if you're a true fan of anything, then you're going to support this, and whatever happens, you're going to be there. So,
well, I mean, I have to admit that I didn't go up on.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Right.
What faith? I mean, the furthest I go is not the East or whatever goes to the same league, but I go, okay, the American League, well, obviously hometown boys, the Twins, right? But okay, let's go to the National League, because really at one time it was like, you getting two different types of games because of the rules before they frilled everything up, and it was the Cubbies because they were nearby for it, and always had that sympathy point for them. So I that you can be a real fan of doing that. It's just like, okay, when it comes to American League, Twins. It goes to National League. I like watching the Cubs. Obviously not with as much gusto as the Twins, but still. Yep. I can see that. But when you're going that, all you're doing is saying all these AL teams, like, what does it matter? What are you going to do when they have playoffs, right?
Yeah.
You should be kind of rooting what you want to see for a World Series. And I would have loved to see the Twins-Cubs World Series. And hopefully it'll happen someday.
I don't know. Maybe. Anything's possible.
I know. It'll probably be in the year 2116. So
we're all going to be heads like Futurama.
Yeah. And here Mike next to us ranting as he's getting his head flake food being poured into the thing. I'm waiting for mine. It's like, come on, hurry up! I'm hungry. Ooh, donut.
Yeah. But no, being a true fan is definitely it's a hard life. It's a hard life, especially when your team loses a certain way. You're like, wait, we were up by 5 runs. How did we lose? Or up by 6 or whatever. It's like, wait, what happened here? What do you mean? What happened?
I see nothing.
Well, I know what you mean. As someone who's been watching, as rugby and all that, I know how that can be. It's like, come on, All Blacks, you can do it. How the hell did you lose that one?
Yep, you start cursing at the game, and then somebody in your family says, stop cursing, and they're looking at your brother, and it's like, I wasn't cursing, and it was you the one who was cursing, but somebody else thought
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, did I say head? I don't think I said. Did I say that? I don't know.
Decap is thinking. I don't know. His head is in the gutter again, literally.
Oh, when is it? When is it? But no, I mean, sitting back the other day, because about the only Olympics really truly that I try to go out of my way for to watch is the rugby. Right. And it was absolutely spectacular to see the U.S. men's team beat Australia.
Yeah, well, it's the same with, Simone Biles came back and they want to talk about, just make her the face. Oh, she has the most medals in Olympic. Great, but it was still a team effort. So let's talk more about the team and everything from any radio station I heard, ABC World News. It's like, no, talk more about the team. They won because of the team. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, actually saw a little bit of the gymnastics thing. It was something where it was not like individual points, but for the team. But you had three people performing. I didn't understand what they're talking about. But of course, Biles was on there, another one, and then there was this young lady on the team, blonde haired, very, very pale skin. But the thing that threw me off is they put down, she's from Phoenix, Arizona. It's like, don't you burn up like 3 seconds after you walk out of the house? How can you be so pale like that and not be looking like a piece of bacon in about 5 minutes? I mean, but she did good too. She was really good.
Well, No, go ahead.
Yeah, and she was doing it hurting too. So.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, it's important because, like I said, when you say you're the greatest of all time in a sport, like I would say Jordan, other people were amazing in their sport, even though he went and decided to do baseball before and then came back, because you're about making your team better. And so 3 years ago, whenever they were in Tokyo, I think it was about 4 years ago, because the Summer Olympics, I think, are usually every 4 years. It's just like, if you're going to be the GOAT, don't start talking about, okay, I had some mental issues. Okay, but what did you learn from that? Oh, I came back to the Olympics. It's just like, it feels like anybody in those situations, it doesn't matter if it's Simone Biles, it doesn't matter who it is, that they should be more grateful and say, you know what, I learned a lot from this experience. And maybe they have, but it's like, you took an opportunity away from somebody else. And don't play the race card and whatever you people like to do all day, because you're taking this away from somebody else who could have gone to the Olympics.
You know what
4
really
years ago.
grinds
And
my
if you were having, that's right. I'm just saying, Baron, that really it's just, you just don't be a better person. If you're the GOAT, greatest of all time, shouldn't you always make your team better?
Well, yeah,
That's
I'm the
how
GOAT.
I look at it.
I'm the GOAT because I eat tin cans. But okay, we're going to be walking over to Rumble here any moment, folks. So please, if you have not yet, I believe that in the chat, the link has been placed. Please walk over and join all the fun that goes on over at Rumble. You never know. There might be a special guest star. We don't know. Not even us.
Know. There might be,
But, here are some of the special guest stars we had with us today. We have FKHC 2005. Tim, I believe.
Tim. Yep, also known as Tim. Yeah.
Yep. We had the mightiest orca out there, our little buddy himself, Lord Crit of Everest Production, the ever lovely and wonderful Leah Rose, and also the president sole member of the Phil McCracken fan club. Boo. Not you, Leah Rose, him. DJ Ronnie G. He was in the house. He's our house DJ, in fact. And speaking of Phil McCracken, someone said his name 3 times and he showed up.
Yeah,
and of course,
it's just like Beetlejuice. Just like
Beetlejuice. And it's always logical that Spock should join us.
Definitely.
So, being that Spock did join us, right? I think, I really think this is happening.
Permission to come aboard, sir.
Granted, sir. Granted.
There we go. I think that was neat. Of course, the very lovely Anna from Anna's Game Land. Good to see you. Yes. Even though he never played it, he plays D&D. It's Pathfinder, but he plays the right D&D, 3.0, 3.5. So my hat's off to you. The great and mighty Big Daddy T-Gap Steve, or T-Cap Steve, as our esteemed Doubloon Money says. And he was also kind enough to gift 5 memberships, one of which somehow gone to him, but Cash has never won one. And of course, I'm sure this was directed at me because this is my long-suffering missus. Thank you for joining us in seeing what shenanigans we might be up to. So, without any further ado, Cash, do you have anything you want to say before we go?
It was fun. We were going to do Mutiny again at some point, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay. Any promotions?
Sure. We got what are we playing this? Oh, we're playing Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, yeah. I got
Ghostbusters at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time Friday, and that'll be Mike, Barron, and I, and maybe we'll have somebody else. Who knows? See
I hope so. Yeah.
Hope so.
Either that, or we have Bot.
Right,
Bot's
or the bot. Yes.
Yeah.
The bot's pretty good. Right. And then I still planning on doing that stream with Crazy Phil. We're going to do that Fallout 76 stream, and that'll be planned soon. And then some other surprises coming up. So
yeah, you'll like it. You like it. It's Fallout. You're going to like it. You get to talk to people, but you're going to like it. You're going to like it. Anything else, Mr. Cash?
That is all for now.
Okay, on my side, obviously, as today, I'll plug this because Captain Mike is still in the dinghy. Catch Pop Talk. Please catch Pop Talk every Sunday and Wednesday. Sunday at noon Central Standard Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, and Wednesdays at 5 o'clock Central Time, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. We get weirder than this, folks. We're actually kind of held back today, but yeah, please join us for that. Of course, Mike will be having some gaming streams, I believe, this week. I could be wrong. And okay, he's going to have Batman Arkham City stream on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Well, he's the Eastern Daylight Time, but Eastern Time on YouTube and Rumble because
And you're right. And make sure to show up because a happy mic is a good mic. Right, Baron?
Yeah, we found that out. Yeah, trust me. And, of course, tomorrow, Jason and I, just as Mike is playing his game, we're going to be playing games, but a different sort of game. We're going to be over at Jace Fox 540 Studios, The Beyond, which, of course, has Jace himself, Prismatics, Cash Monet, the Kilted Cajun. Let's see, Hashi.
Yep.
Yeah, Hashi. Yeah. And Whoopa Troopa. Yeah, Whoopa Troopa. And myself and maybe Tom. I don't know. He's part of the family, but he's not necessarily part of the show. But you never know. He might show up. So please join us tomorrow, 6 o'clock, between 6 o'clock and 6:30 Central Standard Time. And please join us. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. As Phil likes to say, it is Pop Talk 2.0. And with that, I thank you all on the YouTube side again. Come on over. The water's fine over there. Just stay away from Catch. It's a little bit warmer over there. And let's have some fun over there. So I'll leave it up to the mystery man in the dinghy to do the appropriate canceling out. And I wish you all, everyone in the chat, anyone who is lurking, anyone who's going to be watching this later, I'm wishing you all a great day, good night, good afternoon, whatever. Thank you so much for joining us for Pop Talk on Wednesday. Maybe I should sing now. Maybe we should play the song. As we're going over there, we're going to play the song.
Everything sucks.
Yeah, that's right. It does.
That's what they say.